a good friend of mine, legendary, not with me, but he's in the same town. Very funny guy. Let's give a big warm welcome to my good friend Marc Trinidad, everybody.
Thanks, buddy. Good evening. Try that one more time. That had no energy to it. Good evening. All right, I'm going to start off my set with something a little controversial, but it's very important to me to bring it up. I don't watch a lot of TV, but a friend of mine got me into a show called Black Jesus. That's not the controversial part. I know y'all don't like Black before Jesus, but let's move on from that. Here's what I want to talk about. I don't care about the characters and changing their colors, but there is one character that I feel that should not be changed. I want to leave Santa Claus white. No, I'm serious. Leave Santa Claus white because we can't have a black Santa Claus because gifts need to be delivered on time. You can't have kids underneath a Christmas tree crying at Christmas time because they just got a text saying, I'll show up next Tuesday, right? I can say this because I'm from the Caribbean and I'm half black, but that's all right. I'm going to move on with this. Let's stay with this concept, shall we? Can we have an Asian Santa Claus? That's not going to work out. Now, in theory, it's a good idea because most of the gifts are made in China. It's a local pickup for him, right? But do we really want an Asian Santa Claus flying a sleigh with 8 reindeers trying to land on roofs that have ice and snow on it and that are kilt like this? They have a hard enough time staying between 2 white lines on a highway. Why we want to put them under that kind of pressure? Look at you, you're afraid of this. How about if we had a brown Santa Claus? That's not going to work out either, right? A brown guy delivering packages, flying through restricted airspace. The Americans are going to kill him. You know how much surface-to-air missiles they have? It's not going to work out, right? Let's leave Santa Claus white, but for God's sake, don't make him Catholic, because a lot of boys sitting on his lap is not going to work out too well. Now, I told you it was controversial. I know my accent is a little different. I'm originally from the Caribbean, was born and raised in a little country called Trinidad, came to Canada, one person, in Collingwood. I guess you're a dealer. Came to Canada, and I can say this honestly because I've been in your country for the past 19 years. Canadians are some of the friendliest people. I've taught all over the world. Canadians are some of the friendliest people on the planet, bar none. You are. You are. But not in the wintertime. You bastards turn into different people in the wintertime. I remember I was living downtown Toronto. I didn't know where to live, so I was living downtown in a very happy area called Jarvis and Wellesley. You all know the area there. There's parades and stuff. But I was living down there in a condominium, and let me tell you something about condominiums. Condominiums are nice because they have everything in that building. You know, post office, grocery store, tennis court, basketball court, what do you call them, saunas. They had everything inside of mine. They had something else that was very valuable. I didn't know that it was so valuable. It had something called underground parking. I had no idea how valuable that was until I moved to Barrie. I bought my first house. And you have to shovel driveways. This is some bullshit. Because this is where Canadians should be helpful, but y'all ain't. Now y'all know I'm an immigrant because I'm outside on my driveway trying to figure this out with 17 layers of material wrapped tightly around my body. So you know I'm an immigrant. You could give us immigrants some advice. How about some advice like this? Come on, Canadians, help the immigrants out. Tell them that when you're going to shovel snow, bend your knees. How about saying something like that? Right? Bend your knees so you don't put all the pressure on your back that can hurt you. Didn't tell me that. How about if you're going to shovel snow, use one of those nice graphite shovels. How about that? How about that? They weigh about 2 pounds, those graphite shovels. I'm an immigrant. I had no idea. I had a 38-pound grave digger. I didn't know. How about this? Oh, if you're going to shovel snow, you should shovel snow when it is still considered snow. Because snow is light and fluffy. Ice is sticky and heavy. Y'all didn't tell me this shit. But I'm on my driveway, and this is where my helpful Canadian neighbor looks at me. He sees me, and by the way, he's outside in sandals and socks and shorts, sipping on a beer. Looks at me and says, Mark, you should use salt. Salt. Could have told me it was the salt you buy in those big bags at Home Depot. Could have told me that. I'm an immigrant. I didn't know this shit. I was on my driveway with a salt shaker, right? 14 boxes of Sifto. I went Costco twice. He's an asshole. By round of applause, how many people love their kids? You love their kids? Clap. You love your kids? Clap. You love your kids? Clap. Okay, fantastic. Here's my advice to you. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. I have 4 children. I made the mistake of telling my children how much I love them. And when I say I love my kids and I tell them how much, I'm like one of those parents that are really serious about loving their kids, right? Because if my kid came to me, I have 3 daughters and a son. Yeah, I know. That's suffering, but... And I live in a house with my mother-in-law, so... I know. So I make the mistake, I tell my kids, if my daughter came to me, she said, Daddy, I want to be a stripper. I'll buy a pole, set it up in the basement, we'll train, right? You might not do, this is the, if my daughter came to me and said, Daddy, we need to hide a body, I'm the one to say, I know a guy with a pig farm. That's the kind of dad that I am. I'm just saying that nothing gets in between me and my child. So when my child told me, she came home one day, she said, Daddy, I want to buy a snake. Good, good. You felt that? You felt that? That was you white people trying to think to yourselves, so? Told you I'm half black, right? Where I'm from, snakes are the devil. And they can kill you. Why would you put that inside your house? So I'm halfway through about to smack her and say, are you out of your mind? And then halfway through saying, hold on a second, if I piss her off, she's not going to love me anymore. I don't want to do that. And my wife's screaming in the background. She doesn't want a snake either. So do I disappoint my child, make her hate me? Do I disappoint my wife? You know, fellas, you know how that is. If you disappoint your wife, you're not sleeping well, right? So I came up with this. Tell me if I did good. Watch this. Sweetheart, I would do anything for you. You want a snake? I'll buy you a snake. No problem at all. However, you know Daddy is a traveling comedian, right? Well, in the airports, I see these signs in the airport that say exotic animals are illegal. And a snake is an exotic animal. I'd get it for you, but I don't think we could get it legally. She said, no problem. I was like, I win. This is good. And she finished off by saying this, I'll just call the law firm and check. So she picked up the phone and she called our law firm and she asked them, any lawyers in here? This is what my lawyer did to me. He said, well, according to the type of snake you want to buy, Savannah, the area in which you live, your father is actually correct. That snake is illegal. I'm good, right? However, you could apply for an exempt. Here's what to write in your letter. Here's where to send your letter. And now, residing in my house is a white ball python with blue eyes. Because they always say the devil has blue eyes. Now, darling, that's a horrible story, isn't it? It's very negative. There's a snake living inside my house. But I read a book that told me within every situation there's an equal amount of negative and an equal amount of positive. It just depends on your perspective. I told you the negative, here comes the positive. My mother-in-law said, the day you get a snake in this house, I am not coming back. Good, I didn't want you in the first place. Get the hell out. So if you need a snake, sir, I'm selling snakes. How long you married? How long you married? 40. God dang, 43? Where is he?
At home.
At home. That's the secret to a long-lasting relationship. I've been married half that time. 21 years I've been married. Nowadays, they don't get married for this length of time anymore. These young people, it's like upgrading to a new wife, right? Here's the thing. I want to help the people that are in the crowd. Here's how I'm going to help you. After my 21 years, I think I have this tied in. I know what it is. There's a secret to it. And I'm going to share that with you guys. Hopefully you can help a lot of people out. Here's my nugget after 21 years. The secret to a long-lasting relationship is communication. You have to communicate. Fellas, you have to communicate with your woman. And here's how you have to communicate. You have to tell them how much you love, care, and appreciate them, because that's like crack cocaine to women. And they need their fixes every day, all day. It's bloody annoying, isn't it, sir? Yes! We can't tell them all the time. We have things to do. We have to fix the guttering. We have to watch the hockey. Not for anything else but amusement, but we have to watch the Leafs, right? So we don't have time to tell you women all the time. But I've figured it out. You don't have to tell these women all the time how much you love them. You just have to tell them at the right time. If you tell them at the right time, it pays for a lot of time. Now, the best time to communicate with your woman, fellas, right after sex. No more rolling over and falling asleep. Those days are long gone. That woman has just shared with you the most valuable possession she can ever bestow upon another human being. And right there and then, she is vulnerable. She needs to know how much you care. I practice what I preach. I always talk to my wife right after sex. I roll over, I pick up the phone, and I give her a call. Because I want her to know how much I care. And it could be a long distance, but I will call. Thank you very much. My name is Marc Trinidad. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you for coming out for such a great cause.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.